I've been working, I've been writing like you told me. I got that heat. I got that new shit, that dope shit, I promise you.
Now, when we were first introduced to Famous, he was described as fast-talking, charming, funny, a talented aspiring rapper. He's Kanan's best friend, protector of his sister Jessica, and is fiercely loyal to Kanan and the Thomas family, as well as South Jamaica Queens. But over these last few episodes, and from the preview of episode 6, it really is hard not to think about him being a death in season 2. Especially because Kanan ironically named his son Shawn in Power. So with episode 5 being a bit of a filler, which really did leave me slightly disappointed considering it was a mid-season finale, we're gonna run through some death predictions instead, and we're gonna look at Famous, Dominic, Detective Burke, Crown, Toni, as well as Worrell. So let's start with Famous. Now, this was actually a video I made way back before season 1 even began, when I started to do my character breakdowns prior to season 1, but a video which I never released because I thought it was way too soon. But just rewinding it back to Power briefly, we learned Shawn Stark was Kanan's only child, but Kanan was arrested when Shawn was quite young, so we saw Ghost look after him and treat him like his very own. He was also a promising basketball player but got injured. And we all know the story by now. For those who have a promising career in basketball, there was Shawn in Power, Zeke in Power Book 2 Ghost, and D-Wiz in Raising Kanan. But the same goes for any other promising career. For example, music. We all know Duke didn't make it as a singer, and I don't think Famous will either. Now, in episode 5, Lou did say if he brings him some new rhymes, he'll get him back in with some studio time. But this has all the feels of Shawn in Power, Zeke, and also D-Wiz. He's not gonna make it, and neither is he gonna make it in the streets.
I want you out.
What?
Out! Go find another place to bring your putas.
Where am I gonna go? I don't have any money.
I don't know and I don't care.
So in season 2, Famous's life has taken a real turn. He's not been in the studio, he's been kicked out at home, he has no manager, and it's led him to hustling on the streets, something which Kanan said he wasn't built for. So in episode 6, he is gonna get caught. So it does make me wonder, what happens next? How does Famous get himself out of this sticky situation? And the only thing I can think of is he can't. Every door seems to be closing in, and with there being no happy endings in Power, just like we went through with Zeke, D-Wiz, and Shawn. And this is why I believe Kanan will eventually name his son after his best friend. But how he dies and at the hands of who is the real question. But it is a death which I think will follow a similar theme with what we felt after Shawn, Zeke, and D-Wiz. A real tragic death that will really impact us as the audience, as well as Kanan. We need to see Kanan turn into this ruthless powerhouse, and I appreciate the time they really are taking with his character. But very similar to Duke, we need to see Kanan go through some more pain, anger, lies, as well as betrayal. And Famous fits the category of pain, and who knows, potentially betrayal if he decides to talk. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but he was someone who started to irritate me the minute he was introduced. He's full of hate, resentment, and for absolutely no reason. And on the flip side, we had Jimmy, who was the complete opposite, but with a backwards mentality and the events that played out in episode 5. I think he's a death that many of us will want to see in the second half. And who knows, it may even be at the hands of Salbacelli himself. Jimmy made a point of how they don't fuck with kids, because that's not what they do. But Dominic really is different, and I can only see it ending in one way. Now, Detective Burke has been warned by Howard and her very own father, but she's someone who still won't leave shit alone. So from the latest events, we saw her pull Andrea in, and where she gave her the information, Detective Howard has a son, and we all saw the look on her face.
They didn't say much except for that the kid's a teenager. They didn't tell me his name.
So now it's not a matter of if, it's when Burke finds out the truth, if she doesn't know already. And I think about how she's always around Howard in season 1, and how he was always tailing Kanan and Rock, and it's just a matter of when she puts 2 and 2 together. And let's not forget, Burke did see this on Howard's desk in episode 1, but Howard knows that Burke is onto his secret, so what does he do? It really is a difficult one. Will he confront her? Will he tell her to leave shit alone? Or could he even kill her? Or have someone else do it for him? But again, looking at this from the other side, it is always good to have a cop who knows the truth but isn't able to do anything with it. And we just need to take Cooper Saxe as an example, who in season 2 of Ghost decided to join the other side, but it didn't last long, and I don't expect Burke to turn either. She's someone who wants to make a name, so we're gonna see her continuing to dig until she finds something solid, which is why she's on thin ice. Now, Crown Camacho is another character who really is just not getting on my nerves, but also Lou's. But it is safe to say, they've never had a good relationship from season 1. But Famous accidentally poured more fuel onto the fire by telling him Crown was sleeping with Jess, which he wasn't aware of. Now, he let all the other shit slide with Crown, but now, it really is getting to boiling point, and if he's ever gonna run the record label his way, he needs to get rid of him. Now, this was a character who I did expect to return, because I do follow the actors very closely during the off-season, and I did see her posting she was back filming for season 2, but I wasn't sure in what capacity and how long for. But Marvin really does need to drop whatever he's thinking with Toni. There's no need for him to follow her or do anything drastic. He just needs to go to his anger management classes and deal with what he needs to deal with before he gets locked up again. Now, Worrell is someone who's doing what needs to be done to survive, but he's also playing both sides with Unique and Rock, and it really isn't the best way to go about your business, especially when you've got someone as ruthless as Rock, who killed Scrappy because she thought he was a snitch, and then you've got Unique, who killed his best friend Trez G. So both Scrappy and Trez G go way back for Unique and Rock, and if they have a whiff of Worrell betraying either of them, it's game over. There's also the added storyline of Marvin wanting to catch the guy who's stealing the money from their stash, and at some point, I do expect this plot to come back round, and someone will have to pay the price. But that's a breakdown of where we are in terms of our major players, in terms of death predictions, and one which I think could have the biggest impact is Famous. I also think Lou is going to be on some demon time, because the look that he gave at the end of episode 5 was a look of he's had enough of Crown and he's had enough of everybody else's shit, but only if they push him too far. But drop all your death predictions down below in the comment section, and of course if you are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 3 and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.